Hey, you guys, so I'm back again with another message. This message is kind of sensitive to me because, like I said, I can feel things in the spirit. And a lot of people that came against you, they are lost without you now that you're no longer in contact with them, and they're reflecting. And it's like what the old people say, you don't miss the well until the well run dry. And this message kind of ties into that God will judge those who hurt you or who hurt his people. God will judge those who harm his people. And a lot of people now, and the reason why it's sensitive to me, because God had allowed me to see one person last night in the spirit. And then when I was transitioning, I woke up this morning, I felt another person in the spirit going through the same thing. They are lost without you. And now they're reflecting. And God has been revealing to me that some people can be so obsessed with you. Some people can be so in a place of obsession where they want to monitor you, that they want to destroy you, or they try to find ways to try to hurt you or bring you down. Some people do this by being nice, nasty. Some people do this by being trying to disguise bad advice as good advice. But whatever the case may be, these people have been so obsessed with you and what you got going on that they begin to center their lives around you and you didn't even know it. Some of these people have begun to mimic you or try to mirror you and you didn't even know it. And now that you are no longer in contact with them, God had told you to separate, or you just something just had happened to where you're no longer in contact with them, where you're separated from them. Now they are lost without you. And they are experiencing identity crisis because they was trying to make you feel like, which is a form of gaslighting, which is a form like of manipulation and controlling. They were trying to make you feel like you were involving your life around them, when really they were involving their life around you because they were very, very jealous of you and you couldn't see it, or very envious of you and secretly in competition with you, right? You know how you can have friends or so-called friends that are really frenemies. That's how it is, even with that, even with family members, right? And like I said, these people are lost without you and they're reflecting. And like I said, they're going through an identity crisis. Some of them are going through a state of depression, which is sad because now that they are to themselves and you're no longer around them, they have to deal with themselves. They have to deal with the man in the mirror. And some of these people didn't know who they were without you being around because they were so busy being obsessed with you and in competition with you. Now they really got to identify who they are. Now they got to really identify what is their purpose. And it's sad because you was the type of person that you was always there, always doing things for them, like being a good family member, being a good friend, but they took advantage of it. And they mistreated you. They took you for granted. And it's like I told you guys in a previous message before, they reject the one that God sent. You was the one that God was using to bless them, to pour into them, to talk to, to spread the good news, to pretty much to disciple them. And they took it for granted. jealousy and envy, trying to compete instead of embracing the connection, instead of embracing the God that is within you, to try to help them get out of the situation that they were already in. Because some of them were already in jacked up situations, right? And that's what some people do, y'all. And God had revealed this to me. Some people would be overly obsessed with you and what you got going on to deflate what they really need to address in their own lives. To deflate that they got issues, anger, jealousy, deceitfulness, things that they need to get delivered from. So instead of them dealing with their own issues, they would deflate and become obsessed with a person that they're jealous of. And God had revealed that to me, like, through my time of isolation recently. And now these people, since you're no longer there, since you're no longer in contact with them, since you no longer come around them, or even the people that they associate with, they're lost without you, because now they can't get information on you. Now they really try to send monitoring spirits, because it's like they don't know what you got going on. They don't have nothing to mirror. They don't have nothing to mimic. So now they're in a place of, I'm lost. And now they have to really reflect and deal with the man in the mirror. And some of these people are going to realize some things that they like about themselves and some things that they dislike about themselves. Some of them are really going to have to really go through an identity, an identity switch. They're going to have to really switch back to, or switch to the person who God has called them to be. Because they spent so many years trying to mimic and trying to mirror somebody else, that they're not truly authentic to themselves. I told you guys before in a previous message, you can't fake true authenticity. You can't fake that. And so with that being said, these people are lost without you, and they're reflecting. Now, no, do you need to go reach out to them? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they are lost without you. They are reflecting, and that this is part of their judgment. And they are going through a lot of things mentally. Because like that's a spirit, y'all. When you have someone that's trying to mimic you and trying to mirror you and trying to do everything that you do, dress like you, look like you, move like you, that is people that's struggling with their own identity, who they are. They don't know who they are. And so with that being said, they are really going through mentally, because they got to figure it out. They got to figure out, who am I? Who am I in God? What is my purpose? And some of them, they don't want to admit it. And some of them are really, really struggling with it because of pride. Because of pride. They don't want to admit that they have a problem. They don't want to admit that they're struggling with a mental issue, which really is a spirit. They don't want to admit that they're struggling with these spirits. But it's there. And they feel lost without you, and they're reflecting, and this is part of their judgment. Okay? Pray for them, because some of them are really going to go into a heavy state of depression, because they've been doing this for years, and they lost who they were, because they've been doing this for years. They've been operating in the spirit out of jealousy and envy for years. It's like the spirit has pretty much just took over them. And now it's like, now there's nothing. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Now that you are no longer around to help feed that spirit, they're being tormented by that spirit. So now it's like they really got to deal with the man in the mirror. So pray for them. But just wanted to come and tell you, if you're feeling like this, if you can, because like people who are spiritually gifted, you can feel how other people are feeling in the spirit. And if you are feeling like something is off with somebody, it's because it is. It's because they're going through something right now. Pray for them. Pray that they get their deliverance that they need to get from God. But they are feeling lost without you. And they're reflecting. But continue to stay your distance, because they're going to have to go through this process to get delivered. All right. I love you guys. I pray that you all have an amazing day. And I will chat with you all later.